I love everyone, but it's just some ignorance I just cannot take. Pretending to be real doesn't make anyone less fake. Hi everybody, it's Chastity.Elise. I am back for another video. Please like and subscribe if you have not already. Some of you all, I don't know if anybody's added me. Some of you all may have added me on Instagram. But if you have not added me on Instagram yet, please do so. If you like music, you like rap, different genres of music like that, you will have a treat for sure on my page. I do a lot of cover songs on there, but I also do like a combination of spoken word, and then I also do post like rap lyrics. Like I write my own lyrics, I make my own beats. I haven't gotten to the point yet where I'm mastering them, but yeah, so I do have some songs that are posted on SoundCloud. I have 2 songs that I'm holding on to. One of them you all heard in my last video, the song for my intro. That is one song that I have completed, but I have not posted it to any platform yet. I'm not quite sure what I want to do with it because it's not really a rap song, it's more of like a pop song. And so my main focus really though has been rap. So I just don't know, like I feel like I want to kind of focus on one genre first and then kind of start mixing it up. I mean, I like to mix it up, period, but you know, it seems like you should start out first in one category and then kind of expand, as opposed to just kind of being all over the place. So I'm trying to kind of centralize my talents right now on just focusing on rap. But anyway, I do have a couple rap songs on SoundCloud. I have one rap song that I'm holding on to for right now. I'm not sure what I want to do with it. And then I have that pop song. But anyway, that's besides the point of this video. So anyway, if you've added me or if you are friends with me on Instagram, or if you've checked out my Instagram, you will notice that I have several videos posted just regarding what's going on right now. I mean, I've posted a good bit about coronavirus when, you know, back in March, back in April, when we were kind of like the cases weren't nearly as high. We were just beginning to fight it, and technically with our leadership we weren't really fighting it at all. We were just kind of brushing it aside and saying we don't have that many cases, it's gonna go away once it warms up. Well, it's warm and it's still here. As a matter of fact, it's still increasing. So I put a couple of videos about coronavirus on my Instagram page. It's been a couple months now, like I said, but I wanted to share with the current environment with the protests, you know, with George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and we have a couple other names that have been added to that list. And so I kind of wrote several different like spoken word and rap lyrics for or regarding those issues, regarding my inner turmoil with them. And I think that in my expression, I think, or at least I tried to express not only what I was feeling about it, but I tried to express what I felt others were also feeling about it. So hopefully it's something that you all can relate to. It was written for people to relate to it. It was a way of kind of like more or less taking my negative emotions and putting them into lyrics, but also kind of like therapy to express my concern and to express my grief with what's happened. And I've done a video. If you haven't looked at it yet, please go check it out. The video is called Where is America? And basically it kind of talks about some of these same issues. It touches on being black in America, being male in America, being discriminated against in America, being briefly touched on being unemployed somewhat, on coronavirus. So it basically touches on a lot of different things that are currently going on in this country, a lot of issues that we are having to deal with. If you have not looked at that, definitely go check it out. Feedback, whatever, you know, whatever your thoughts are, post, let's talk about it. And also the other thing, so what I'm doing, or what I wanted to do, was kind of like give a brief intro, a brief summary of what this video is about. So I'm going to be putting together a compilation of pretty much all of the videos that I have posted on Instagram regarding Black Lives Matter. I just want to give a brief introduction to that compilation. So without further ado, here it is. There comes a time when people are just fed up being oppressed, not receiving equal pay and being treated as less than the rest. The facts are this country was built on racism. fear of those who are deemed different. You can't kill ideas as they will continue to proliferate. Now, President does nothing. Hate is what he continues to propagate. Somehow to him, everyone protesting is a thug. But in Charlottesville, they were good and bad on both sides. No one referred to thugs, no threats to shoot. People are angry. This is what they're saying. There's no way to refute. Every time it's happened, there's been protest. But each time it seems to go unheard. The same scenario plays out. Now here we are again, raw emotions stirred. How many times must one be told to get it? Think about your significant other when you kindly ask them to do something, but they never did it. After a while, you just do it on your own. But these aren't concerns our people can address all. Why do small minds even find offense in a person's skin color? If you think about it, it's stupid and makes no sense. It's crazy that there are some people who are legitimately this dense. Then again, here we are and they're still struggling with this idea hence. For whatever reason, it's a hard thing for them to grasp. And as naive as it sounds, I look forward to the day when racism has become a thing of the past. Crying out for help, no one cares about your tears. So absorbed with their privilege, they could never understand your fears. When race and gender collide to make the perfect weapon, you've done nothing wrong, but somehow it's time to teach you a lesson. All you did was exercise your right while others do the same. There's no uproar, there's no fight. How is it that a group can gather with all types of guns in hand? But if you want to stoke fear and violence, all you have to do is place it in the hands of one black man. This story is so sad. This story is so old. And every time it happens, the hurt just continues to grow. It's said we should focus on healing, but do we ever get the chance to really hurt? It happens way too often. The feelings are just so raw. And before you can even regroup from one, there's a recording of another injustice someone else recently. Hate is real, but the permanence of death is even more so. Hate can be eradicated with knowledge, love, and understanding. Once a person's soul is gone, there's no getting it back despite anyone's denying. It stings, it bleeds. I just can't breathe. I read the title of an article. My first thought, why are they talking about Eric Garner? What did I miss? Is this a repeat? Only later to find out it's the same story, but the victim is new. How much more must people endure, all because they don't look like you? Some people will get it, but there are others that won't. Their experience is different. They are totally blind. Remember when they were separating kids from parents at the border? Put them in detention centers to play and learn the English language. Someone once said to me as this came up in discussion, "Oh, it looks just like summer camp. Why is everybody fussing?" The kids were having so much fun and so engaged. At least from what she saw, this is the picture she interpreted. This is what was portrayed. Excuse me, Miss Ma'am, but you yourself have kids. Would they want to be taken from you with the prospect of never ever seeing their parents again? I wanted to curse. I wanted to shout. Again, it's that privilege we're talking about. No sense of empathy, no thought to even care. Can't even acknowledge the hurt and pain that's there. It was inconceivable, but the next day or so she said, "You know what? My kids wouldn't like it very much if this happened to them." You think? This is what I already expressed. This is getting long, but there aren't enough words to express. It can honestly be endless, however I digress. This is not to offend as it's not aimed or directed at anyone. Being indivisible means being a whole. And a whole is just the sum of its parts. How can we manage to be one if we're slowly but surely falling apart? We need to unite despite color and creed. Somewhere we've lost sight of the people and the corruption and greed. When a fellow man dies, the last thing we should be is desensitized. Gone are the days of fire hoses and dogs. Now it's batons, tear gas, rubber bullets, and people full of it. A black man can't even jog, God forbid he bird watch. The woman sounded like she was auditioning for the role of Jill Roberts, remember in Scream 4? It was over the top. She'd gone way too far. Maniacal acting as though she was being attacked. Yelling, using the man's race as a weapon for a fatality. Fortunately, he got on video and we see it was more fiction than actual fact. Please hurry, it's an African American. Don't forget he's male. That should get them here quickly. She later apologized, claiming what was done wasn't right. However, in the end, she wound up looking not so bright. How do you show remorse but yet speak of calling the police as a privilege not everyone has? Acting as though they're your personal bodyguards. This is beyond trash. I had a lot to say. This was the only way to really get it out. The last thing I want it to be is hate that I spout. I love everyone, but it's just some ignorance I just cannot take. Pretending to be real doesn't make anyone less fake. It's those that see it all and remain silent. This isn't their fight. Patting you on the back saying you'll be all right. Just shut your mouth and be compliant. Sheep's clothing perfectly fitted and tailored for a wolf. It's so unfortunate the exterior couldn't align with the interior. How quickly people switch sides. Especially when it boils down to it, they still view you as inferior. Look, how many black men have to pay the blood price? More than bankrupt cops killing without even thinking twice. You're told to do as they say, it might save your life, but it's proven over and over again in these situations you won't be treated equally if that skin ain't white.
Again, it isn't all cops, but they're not all bad. But one rotten apple can spoil a whole bunch. It's so effing sad. I'm typically quiet, but this issue clearly got me mad. There's nothing I can personally do but address it. Instead of sitting idly by saying, what's it got to do with me? Why am I stressing? I don't have kids, but what if one day I do? I could very well have a son. He would need to know he's a blessing. Can't imagine the inner turmoil a mother must feel. You tell him he has opportunity and he has great aspirations, yet we see black men on the news dying from asphyxiation. So we're playing God now, deciding who lives and who dies, digging in a need just as the time flies by. For many, it seems the camel's back is broken. A proverbial fire, and in some cities, literal fires have been lit. It's symbolic to say people are just upset and over this ish. Not writing anything else on this is back to scheduled programming. Me writing and running my mouth won't change what's happening. Action is required, and while it's great to speak up, when it comes time, we must all utilize our right to vote. Know that turning a blind eye resolves absolutely nothing. Acknowledging it, discussing it, and dealing with your feelings is important. Continue to love and treat one another with respect. And know this is something that a few frankly won't get. Hate won't win. It can't win. We just can't let it.